Moran, Pierce. The future of dirt late model racing is just brilliant. I mean, it's just, I don't know what else to say. One of them may come on with a victory, a 20-something-year-old.
Well, James, how about we say this? Eldora Speedway, the yellow lights have been turned off. The Eldora Speedway Ford Raptor Pace Truck is making the hard left-hand turn into the infield. Hudson O'Neill on the pole. Jonathan Davenport on the outside. The 2022 Eldora Million is underway.
Indiana and Georgia lead them into turn one. The Buckeye State driver, Devin Moran, right there. Jonathan Davenport will power to the lead down the back straightaway. 49 out in front of Eldora. What else is new? He's 100 laps away to become a millionaire. That's a long way, though.
Bobby Pierce going to move into the second spot. Hudson O'Neill, Devin Moran now side by side for third. Davenport immediately stretches out to a big advantage. Pierce, O'Neill, Moran. That's not Bob, Don, and Donnie. That's Bobby, Hudson, and Devin running second, third, and fourth.
Got a car slowing already down the back straightaway. Is that Shane Clanton? Looks like he's going to go to the infield. Looks like he will finish 24th in the Eldora Million. Clanton calls it a night. Davenport already has stretched it out. Bobby Pierce second. Hudson O'Neill, Devin Moran. Good battle there. Here comes Fergie on the bottom.
Chris Ferguson looking down to the inside of Devin Moran. 3 laps in the books. That's a battle for the fourth position. Moran in 9, Fergie in the 22. Your race leader, Jonathan Davenport, already a 2-second advantage. These two drivers side by side for position number 4. Again, Moran in 9, Fergie in 22.
And these guys in the back, Nick Hoffman right now, the final car on the lead lap. Davenport is about a half a lap behind those drivers. It's important to stay with the leaders here on the lead lap as they come down the main straightaway. Davenport already a straightaway lead over Bobby Pierce.
Yeah, Jonathan Davenport, no surprise. That car is so good by itself out front as he is just absolutely powered into a sizable advantage. 5 laps into this race, a 2.9 second advantage over that guy, Bobby Pierce. Pierce in that special Talladega Nights wrap on the 32 car.
Still 3 distinctive grooves, bottom, middle, top. Davenport, Clements, Power under the hood. Jason Durham, the crew chief. Vinny Giuliani on the team as well. Lance and Darla Landers down the straightaway. And in a couple of more laps, Dustin, he will have the tail end of the field. As JD says, he's had trouble with lap cars to get clean air, but they dirtied it up a little bit as he gets into turn 3.
Yeah, and I'm watching JD's lap times here too, and I know we're only 7 laps into this race, James, but I can't help but wonder if JD is maybe backing off just a tick. He doesn't want to catch that back of the field just yet. He knows he's got, he's probably got someone somewhere. He probably knows that he has a pretty sizable advantage over second place Bobby Pierce, and JD backed off just ever so slightly or changed his line just a little bit so that he maybe has a couple more laps before he closes in on the back of the field.
We saw that at West Virginia Motor Speedway last Friday night, and he got into traffic, got too close, and Moran got around him late in that race. Right now, Davenport working the bottom. There's Hudson O'Neill in second. Devin Moran remains, Bobby Pierce is second. O'Neill third, Moran. Fergie the top 5 in 22. Then you have Ricky Thornton Jr., Tim McCreadie, Kyle Bronson. But right now, Davenport has dominated from the drop of the green in 49.
Yeah, Davenport has indeed caught the back of the field. Shannon Babb going to be the first car to go 1 lap down. Davenport able to dispose of him quickly. He does the same with the 2 of Nick Hoffman. And the 49 of Davenport, James, the one thing I've noticed in the first 11 laps of this race is that car is very good anywhere. He can run the top, he can run the bottom. That car seems to be very, very good any place he puts it on the racetrack.
Yeah, that has to be a dream to drive that car. They started off a little rough this year, but the last couple of months they have really turned it on, winning the historic 100 last week at West Virginia Motor Speedway. And Davenport still working the bottom as traffic is up top as he heads down the back straightaway, putting a lap on Jimmy Owens.
And there's a good battle on your screen for the third position. The 71 of Hudson O'Neill and the 9 of Devin Moran. Hudson O'Neill has that final podium spot. Devin Moran trying to take it away from him. 13 laps in the books, 89 laps remaining.
Bobby Pierce still in second, but he's several car lengths back as Davenport clicks off another lap. 13 in the books, 87 to go. There you have O'Neill, Moran, Ferguson. Then you have McCreadie, Thornton, Bronson. And then you have Lanigan in 29.
Side by side on the left-hand side of your screen for the third position. Devin Moran now finally going to take that spot away from Hudson O'Neal. Hudson O'Neal going to fall back to fourth. Move Devin Moran up to third. Bobby Pearson remains second. Still a 4-second advantage for your race leader, Jonathan Davenport.
JD still working the bottom. Right now, the last car on the lead lap was Greg Satterlee. Goes a lap down. Johnny Scott in front of him. Then it's Brandon Sheppard. There's Hudson O'Neal in fourth. Ferguson still fifth. Green so far. Good, clean race, but Jonathan Davenport can put it where he wants to, Dustin, and he's rolling along.
And he's got Johnny Scott just in front of him right now as Devin Moran trying to close in on the 32 of Bobby Pearson. Moran's got a pretty good hot rod, James, as Davenport's lead is up to 4.8 seconds in this race.
And Fergie has gotten around O'Neal. Those two going at it into turn three. 71 and 22 going at it. There you see Moran. There's the battle behind them between Hudson O'Neal and Chris Ferguson.
Chris Ferguson works down to the inside of Hudson O'Neal. Move Fergie, at least momentarily, up to the fourth spot. Shuffle Hudson O'Neal back to fifth. Chris Ferguson started sixth, moved up to P4. Again, Moran third, Pierce second. Your race leader is Jonathan Davenport, and Jonathan Davenport is a full Eldora straightaway ahead of Bobby Pearce and Devin Moran.
19 in the record books. JD down the main straightaway into turn one. Bobby Pearce will follow him. He's just now coming out of turn four.
5.7 seconds the advantage for Jonathan Davenport over this battle for second. Bobby Pearce has that position. Devin Moran trying to take it away. And I've noticed, James, those two guys running very similar lines around the racetrack, Pearce and Moran. So Moran going to have his hands full trying to work by the 32.
And those drivers about to have a couple of drivers join him there. Chris Ferguson right there behind O'Neal as they go into turn three. Here comes McCreadie. Battle for second. Out of turn number four right here. Devin Moran is going to second in car number 9, Dustin.
Move Devin Moran up to position number 2. Shuffle Bobby Pearce back to third. The lead is 6.1 seconds, James, for Jonathan Davenport over Devin Moran. And we'll see if Moran is able to close that gap any. 23 laps in the books, 78 to go.
Could change in a blink of an eye here at Eldora. We've seen it so many times. You get a caution, they line them up double file. Davenport behind Brandon Sheppard.
One of the early movers and shakers in this race, James. We said it, Dale McDowell started 22nd, and on lap 23, McDowell's up to 12th. Mac Daddy doing what he usually does, picking his way through the field. Meanwhile, Chris Ferguson has worked by Bobby Pearce, and Tim McCreadie starting to work his way through.
39. His average finishing spot, is fourth here the last several years. Former World 100 winner. And Jonathan Davenport continues to show the way, coming out of turn 4 behind the one of Brandon Sheppard. In running in second is Devin Moran in 9. There's Ferguson. There's McCreadie.
So Jonathan Davenport just put a lap on Brandon Sheppard. It tells you how good the 49 car is. Davenport right now holding steady. I've been checking out the lap times, checking out his advantage ever since Devin Moran moved into the second spot. He's holding steady at right around a 6-second lead over Devin Moran. So Moran right now not exactly closing in, but I don't know that the driver of the Titanic Racing number 9 forcing the issue as well. Meanwhile, folks watching at home just saw it. Tim McCreadie now moved up into the third spot. He's going to try to reel Devin Moran in.
Ferguson fourth, and it's Pierce. Madden has gotten around Bronson.
Chris Madden started 19th, James.
Jonathan Davenport, Dustin, this thing stays green. I don't know how many he can lap. He might lap up to the top 5 the way he's going right now.
I'll tell you what, if there's a caution, we've got a few guys to keep our eyes on for sure. There's Chris Smokey Madden again. Madden started back in 19th. He's working by Bobby Pierce to move inside the top 5 in a caution-free race. Chris Madden, Dale McDowell, 2 of the guys on the move in this one, 71 to go.
Davenport, Moran, McCreadie up to 3rd in 39. You mentioned that he started back in position number 9. There's Madden down the back straightaway. Had to take a provisional to get in. As you mentioned, started 19th inside of row number 10. He's rolling right along, but right now Davenport continues to dominate here in the Eldora Million.
Yeah, Davenport is, Moran's been able to cut into that lead just a little bit here. It was up to 6 seconds. It's down to 4.7 right now. I'm not going to pretend like that is shrinking at any great rate, but it's down to 4.2 this time by. So Devin Moran's been able to cut almost 2 seconds off that advantage of Jonathan Davenport over the course of the last 5 or 6 laps.
And all it takes, again, is one caution to shake this up. Davenport into turn 1. Meanwhile, Moran trying to clear Greg Satterlee. Devin into turn 1. Out of 2, down the back straightaway. Trying to make up some time. I don't know if he wants to see a caution or maybe keep it green, but Devin Moran, he's going to be pedaling hard here, but still a long way to go, Dustin.
Well, I think all these guys, I think Randy Weaver hit on something earlier. It's not just the guy that's the fastest, it's the guy that races the smartest as well. A driver that conserves his race car, a driver that conserves his tires, a guy that plays lap traffic the way that he should, and a guy that knows that more than likely at some point in this race, you're probably going to have a caution flag.
Right in front of your leader is Spencer Hughes and Dennis Erb Jr. There's Devin Moran crossing the start-finish line. Right now, Davenport is heading into turn 3. Moran out of turn 2. Trying to keep him within eyesight. Davenport he's got 2 cars running side by side right in front of him.
Meanwhile, at the end of the back straightaway, Chris Madden has moved to the inside of Chris Ferguson and past Chris Ferguson. So Chris Smokey Madden from 19th to 4th in the first 36 laps of this race.
Now Davenport has to deal with Spencer Hughes, the final car on the lead lap. That'll allow Moran to close ever so slightly. Clean and green so far, 64 remaining in the second Eldora Million.
Devin Moran's trimmed that lead down to 3.2 seconds, James. It was 6.1 at its highest point. He's almost cut the lead in half to 3.2. Again, 37 laps into this race. Devin Moran trying to gain even more ground on Jonathan Davenport, 3.3 that time by.
And Brandon Sheppard, Dustin, is trying to unlap himself. He got Davenport got around Hughes, but Brandon Sheppard has picked it up. He's trying to go back on the lead lap. Brandon Sheppard working the outside. How many times have we seen this here at Eldora? Someone trying to unlap themselves. Sheppard's not going to give up, is he?
Saw Frankie Coomer do it at Brownstown once.
That's
you and I were there.
Yes, sir.
Shep running the extreme high side of the speedway, trying to work back by the 49 of Davenport. Davenport, again, that car's just so good anywhere that he puts it. Still a 3.2 second advantage over Devin Moran. McCreadie 3rd, Madden 4th, Ferguson 5th. And again, a caution-free race to this point. 40 laps in the book, 61 to go.
What about Sheppard trying to unlap himself? Because if we have a caution, he'll still be on the lead lap if he can get back around Davenport. Down the back straightaway. 10 shy of the halfway mark. Davenport into turn 3. Moran right in the middle of the back straightaway now into turn 3. Davenport back down low behind a gaggle of cars into turn 1.
Well, James, right now, 40 laps into this race, 13 drivers are on the lead lap. Only 13 cars on the lead lap here on lap 42. That's your 13th place car and your 12th place car just in front of your race leader.
Out of turn number 4, down the straightaway. Look at that. Erb, Thornton into 1. Davenport's going to go to the bottom. Devin Moran. Chris Madden remains in 4th right now. Tim McCreadie is 3rd. See what McCreadie's at on the racetrack, running in 3rd. Ferguson running in 5th. Here comes Davenport on the bottom of RTJ. So he's lapped up to how many now?
Ricky Thornton Jr. going a lap down.
Yep.
He is your 12th place car. 11 cars on the lead lap. And James, Tim McCreadie, your 3rd place driver, has caught Devin Moran. We got a battle for 2nd at the end of the back straightaway.
The trio of Longhorns in the first 3 spots. Here comes McCreadie out of turn number 4. The reigning Lucas Oil champion in car 39 in on the youngster Devin Moran. They go side by side in turn 2 for the runner-up spot right now.
Tim McCreadie going to take that spot away. Move 9th starting T-Mac up into position number 2. Shuffle Devin Moran back to 3rd. Moran had trimmed Davenport's lead down to about 3 seconds. It had swelled back up to about 4 seconds right there. We'll see if McCreadie is now able to do anything with the driver of the 49.
And there's a bunch of lap cars between 1st and 2nd. Sheppard still trying to unlap himself, Dustin. Here he comes.
He's keeping pace with the leader. Brandon Sheppard is keeping pace with your race leader, Jonathan Davenport. Again, 11 drivers right now on the lead lap.
And there's a whole bunch of cars. McCreadie's going to make a move on the bottom of Pearson. Still a lot of traffic there for 39, but 39 to the bottom. And now Dennis Erb Jr. in front of Jonathan Davenport into turn number 1. Sheppard still hot on his tail, trying to get that lap back as they head down the back straightaway.
22 drivers still on the track, James, as we inch closer to the halfway point. Not the attrition that some folks thought we would see as Dennis Erb goes a lap down. James, 10 cars on the lead lap.
Look who's in front of Dale McDowell. Mr. Consistency here at Eldora, about to go a lap down to Davenport. It is still McCreadie in 2nd, Moran 3rd, Madden 4th, 5th remains Chris Ferguson.
So Jonathan Davenport trying to work his way around the 17M of Dale McDowell. There's Chris Madden from 19th, trying to move onto the podium and work by Devin Moran in a caution-free race.
Tim McCreadie still glued to that bottom, Dustin, trying to work, picking off these lap cars one by one, still caution-free. 49. Working the outside of Dale McDowell. Unbelievable to go a lap down, and Brandon Sheppard is still digging as hard as he can to get that lap back.
Shep again keeping pace with your race leader. There's McDowell on the outside, your 10th place car. Your leader since the drop of the green flag, Jonathan Davenport, trying to find a way around the veteran out of Chickamauga, Georgia. There's Brandon Sheppard, still running the high side of the racetrack, keeping pace with your leader, but the first car 1 lap down in 11th.
In front of them is Mike Marlar and your pole sitter, Hudson O'Neill. Davenport to the outside, down the straightaway. He'll get around Dale McDowell. McCreadie now coming off of turn 4. They're on the same straightaway. McDowell, he gets around, or Davenport rather, gets around Marlar and O'Neill. He'll have a little bit of space between him and Kyle Bronson.
Oh,
who's still on the lead lap. That was close.
Yes, it was. Mike Marlar, your 9th place car, washed up the racetrack there just a little bit. Boy, Davenport right there, boy, really throwing caution to the wind. He grabbed a rut and nearly grabbed the wall over in turn number 2. Davenport's able to keep the 49 back underneath of him, but with $1 million on the line, I'm sure his heart skipped a beat right there.
4 lap cars between 1st and 2nd. Davenport coming off of 2. McCreadie right now entering turn 2. Now Hudson O'Neill here, pole sitter, about to go a lap down. What position is he running in, Dustin?
Hudson O'Neill is your 8th place car. If Davenport works by him, that'll put 7 drivers on the lead lap. There's your 2nd place car, Tim McCreadie, 3.2 seconds behind Jonathan Davenport.
Now Davenport will work the bottom. He'll put a lap on your pole sitter, Hudson O'Neill. Now a little bit of space is Bobby Pearson. Kyle Bronson still on the lead lap in front of your leader into turn 1.
7 cars now on the lead lap. Unbelievable. Brandon Sheppard still keeping pace with your race leader, Jonathan Davenport, but he's 1 lap down to the field. Sheppard in 9th.
Sheppard gets a great run off of 3 and 4. He's hoping for a caution if he can get around Davenport and get back on the lead lap.
Meanwhile, in the battle for 3rd, Devin Moran's worked his way back by the 44 of Chris Madden. It's Moran in 3rd, Madden in 4th. 41 laps to go. McCreadie, James, ever so quietly chipping away at Jonathan Davenport's lead. It's down to 2.8 seconds.
Hey, Trent Ivey, hats off to him for making the show. Looks like he's going to call tonight. He'll take the 88 into the pits. Davenport into one. McCreadie, though, still got to deal with this heavy lap traffic behind the 157 of Mike Marlar. He is definitely making up some time. 39, if he can get around Mikey and Hud, we may have something for him. Davenport still. There's Pearson, Bronson, the last two on the lead lap. Dustin, 39.
2.3.
Yes, sir.
It's a 2.3 second advantage. McCreadie's coming, James. 39 to go. Car 39. Trying to make a run at a $1 million payday.
And Brandon Sheppard is still flirting to get back on that lead lap. He is just as fast as Davenport. McCreadie working the bottom out at 2. As they go into turn 3, Davenport will get around Pierce. Bronson, the final car on the lead lap. Sheppard is still there, trying to get that lap back and hope for a caution.
2.1. It's a 2.1 second advantage on lap number 64. And a caution-free Eldora Million. There's a good look at your second place car, Tim McCreadie. McCreadie started 9th. He's pedaling hard on the bottom of the racetrack. This time by 1.9 seconds. McCreadie on the move.
Now he's down to about 10 car lengths down. He'll get around Pierce. Davenport on the bottom. Sheppard is going to get his lap back, Dustin. Brandon
Yes.
Sheppard finally did it, got his lap back.
Unbelievable. We'll see if he can hold it, though. He's got Kyle Bronson right there in front of him. That's the 6th place car. That is 6th and 7th right in front of your race leader, Jonathan Davenport.
Here they come out of turn number 4. Bronson 6th, Sheppard to 7th. Davenport, your leader. Tim McCreadie's right there. It's about a half a straightaway now around this half mile. Tim McCreadie has 49 in his sights, and here he comes, Dustin, down the back straightaway.
Tim McCreadie now nothing between he and your race leader, Jonathan Davenport. It was 1.8 the last time by. This time by down to 1.5 seconds. The advantage for Jonathan Davenport over Tim McCreadie with 33 to go.
Davenport cannot clear Bronson. McCreadie, he'll have a shot here if this thing stays green. Jonathan Davenport off at turn 4 has dominated the Eldora Million, but Tim McCreadie is about ready to catch him right now into turn number 2. Meanwhile, Sheppard has pulled away from Davenport in car number 1, Brandon Sheppard. Ferguson is still 5th, Moran 4th, Madden is 3rd, but all eyes up front. Boy, he gets close to that wall. Dustin does Tim McCreadie, and he is going to be very, very close here in a couple of more laps, and we still have 31 to go.
And Brandon Sheppard, as you mentioned, unlapped himself. He's in the 6th spot. He is the last car on the lead lap. James, there's a good look at it. You just saw McCreadie on the inside of the speedway, the nose of that race car right up against the concrete. It's 0.7 of a second. We've got a race for the lead in the Eldora Million.
Who would have thunk it? Caution free so far into turn 3, 30 laps to go. Jonathan Davenport. Here comes Tim McCreadie on the bottom right up against that concrete. They try to get around Johnny Scott into turn number 1.
Jonathan Davenport now going to try to run that Brandon Sheppard line up on the high side of the speedway. JD able to clear Johnny Scott down the backstretch. 29 laps to go. Davenport will move back down to the bottom. McCreadie, the left front of that race car, glued to the inside wall. McCreadie makes quick work of Johnny Scott. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, he does.
He disappears when he goes into 3 and 4, doesn't he? Against that
So
concrete
low.
down the back straightaway. Now we've got a little bit of traffic now. Right now, the deficit is about 3 car lengths, maybe make it 2. What is the deficit this time around? 39 is there.
Tim McCreadie is there from the 9th starting spot within striking distance of Jonathan Davenport. Peeks a nose down to the inside, not quite able to do it yet. These two drivers trying to separate or trying to settle this amongst themselves. They have a 4-second advantage over 3rd place Chris Madden in a caution-free Eldora Million.
He's there, 2 car lengths. Make it 1 into turn 1, 49 and 39, and McCreadie goes to the bottom. Out at turn number 2.
Ooh.
Oh, baby, that was
Ooh.
close right there as they go into 3. 49 from the Longhorn stable, and McCreadie may take the lead. Here he comes on the bottom. Do we have a new leader, Dustin?
Side by side at the line, not quite that time. 25 laps to go in the Eldora Million. Jonathan Davenport in 49, Tim McCreadie in 39. They are racing for a $1 million payday at the Big E.
Here they come out of turn number 4. A little bit of breathing room there, but they'll have traffic in front of them. Jimmy Owens and Brandon Sheppard, the last car on the lead lap, is the number 1 car. Sheppard is trying to get around Owens. That's going to cut right in front of your leader into turn 3.
My goodness. My goodness. 23 to go this time around. Davenport's changed his line. He saw McCreadie underneath of him. He knows where McCreadie runs. Davenport has changed his line to try to keep the 39 behind him.
Can he keep it glued to the bottom? Now Brandon Sheppard to go back a lap down. As they come out of turn 4, he has got to keep that down there on that brown. McCreadie, you know, he's not going to give up at turn number 1. 22 laps remaining.
And with Brandon Sheppard going a lap down, James, there are just 5 cars on the lead lap. Davenport, McCreadie, Madden, Moran, and Ferguson, this time by 21 to go.
And Ferguson's right now in turn number 2. They'll probably catch him unless we have a caution. Now McCreadie goes to the top a little bit down the back straightaway. He's trying to change his line. He'll dive into turn number 3. How about this? McCreadie, Davenport changed his line. McCreadie through the middle, dusted out of turn 4.
Yep, McCreadie seeing what works for him, and you have to wonder, I don't want to say is he toying with Davenport, but is he finding a line that is to his liking? That's what he's trying to do. Since Davenport took his line away, Davenport's car maybe not quite as stable as it was in the early stages of this one. James, here comes T-Mac once again.
T-Mac rolling out of turn number 4. They've got 3 cars in front of them. They'll catch them here in a couple of laps. 19 to go. McCreadie trying to get that momentum up top. He sees Davenport. Can he get him trapped behind some of these lap cars here as they go into turn 3? Ferguson remains in 5th. And right now, well, McCreadie, oh man, are you kidding me? Can this really happen? 13 to go.
Don't look now. Chris Madden is quietly closing
18 to go.
in.
18 to go. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
the caution
caution
flag
is
is
out.
out.
18 to go.
Oh.
Man.
Oh, the first caution flag of the race. Something amiss on Jimmy Owens, number 20. Take a deep breath, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to have an 18-lap shootout for $1 million.
Randy Weaver, 18 laps to go. What do you do right now if you're Jonathan Davenport?
Well, hopefully he needs to cool them tires down and they won't seal up on him. But I'm telling you, after a long, hard run like that, they're real easy not to fire again. But man, what a race! I thought it was over with, and then here come McCreadie, and now we got Madden up there. Hear what we talked about all night: crazy, hectic restarts for $1 million. So here we go.
Davenport changing his line. Is there any? What can McCreadie do? It seems like Davenport's in that sweet spot where McCreadie needs to be.
Well, it's just as easy as when he moved that line. It probably wasn't where Jonathan felt the best at, but it just dirtied that air. So McCreadie's already searching, rolling through that middle, and that won't matter because this restart, getting down into 1, that's what's going to change the game.
DJ James, say that we wanted a caution, but we kind of to see how it was all going to play out.
Right, because you said, Davenport changed his line down there with McCreadie,
Yes,
but
he
McCreadie
did.
changed his line to go to the middle of the top. So now Davenport, what is he going to pick? Because it'll be a double foul. Only 5 cars still on the lead lap.
That is maybe the biggest storyline here. 5 cars on the lead lap with 18 laps to go. Davenport, McCreadie, Chris Madden from 19th to 3rd, and James, Madden was chipping away at the lead duo before that caution came out. Madden at one point was about 6 seconds behind those drivers. He had it down to less than 3 seconds when that yellow came out. Devin Moran is 4th. Chris Ferguson is 5th. Those are your 5 drivers on the lead lap.
And Ben, Brandon Sheppard worked his tail off lap after lap to get the lap back, but he got lapped again here. My goodness sakes.
I mean, he worked hard They're showing them 1 to go, guys. Maybe the only restart of the night.
Dustin?
What's going to happen on this restart? I mean, here you've got is seemingly a race that was going to be settled between two drivers. Now coming down to this restart with 5 guys on the lead lap.
Davenport picked the bottom. McCreadie up top. Madden, Moran, Ferguson. One of them's going to win $1 million. Here we go.
A great restart for Jonathan Davenport with 18 to go. McCreadie trying to keep pace up on the high side. McCreadie drives a different line. They're side by side down the back straightaway. Here comes Tim McCreadie to the outside. Jonathan Davenport on the inside. Wheel to wheel for the race lead. As they come across the line, Tim McCreadie moves into the lead.
For the first time, a new leader in the... Oh, he jumped the cushion. He hit a hole down there in turn 1 and 2. Davenport back in front. McCreadie will regroup. Here comes Madden and here comes Moran. Out at turn 4. 16 to go for $1 million at the line. Who's it going to be? McCreadie will cut to the inside. Oh, baby.
McCreadie going to try to drive down to the inside. He'll throw a slider on Davenport in turns 1 and 2 and clear him. Davenport going to try to cross him over down the back straightaway, but he can't get there. Davenport will change his line. Tim McCreadie out front with 16 to go.
Madden and Moran, they're still there. The top 5. Right here, Moran trying to make a late race charge into turn 1. We got battles in that top 4. Devin Moran will have a run on Chris Madden down the back straightaway.
And the caution flag is out again just as Jonathan Davenport had retaken the lead. Greg Satterlee with trouble on the front straightaway. But the last time they crossed the start-finish line, James, your race leader was the 39 of Tim McCreadie.
You can't make this stuff up, Ben and Mike. You cannot make this stuff up, can you?
Randy, could you believe that when Tim got to the lead, he got down into 1 and 2? It's got some character. He lost the lead, but he found his way back to it. And now this is what, as our buddy Joe Duvall would say, this is what you saved your lunch money for.
Yeah, it coming down to the restarts here, and it's all on the line now. So those guys will slide in each other. They respect each other quite a bit, and but it's still for $1 million. I'm telling you, this ain't over yet. And I still say that second race will be involved here in a minute. And but McCreadie's car is awful good right now. But JD will fight back. I'm telling you, $1 million or not, them guys are wanting to win. So it's going to get interesting.
Bobby Pierce was running 11th. He's into the hot pit in 32. So, again, still 5 on the lead lap. McCreadie, Davenport, Madden, Moran, and Ferguson. Satterlee was running in 16th. He's got a shredded left rear tire. Don't sleep on Madden and Moran.
No.
Right?
They were there.
Yep.
I mean, they were there. And, hey, look. We know McCreadie and Davenport are friends. They're both in Longhorns.
They share a lot of information, yeah.
I love my friends. $1 million is $1 million, man. I mean,
you wonder what Justin Labonte and Steve Arpin back at Longhorn in North Carolina.
Yes.
Oh, man, those two guys are professional. And Madden and Moran, they're not done. Fergie, does he have any late race magic?
And he runs in 5th. He is, Fergie, 5th in the last car on the lead lap. 86 laps are scored. 15 laps remain in the Eldora Million.
Boy, if only Sheppard had been able to stay on that lead lap, getting lap right before the caution. I mean, he had probably the fastest car on the racetrack there for the longest time, trying to work on Davenport. Finally got back around him, was pulling away from him, and then Davenport and McCreadie ran him back down. But
guys, we talked about the great car owners earlier tonight. We talked about so many of them, of course, Darla and Lance Landers, but also Donald and Gina Bradsher on that Paler Motorsports number 39 for McCreadie. They do so much for the sport. They're here tonight, and I imagine right now they're losing their mind a little bit as well.
$15 laps to go, 86 in the books. Whoever came up with the 101 laps may be a genius after this thing, right? If we go down to the final lap, and it might very well do that.
Just got a text from Jacob Nord. He asked if I would dump Michael Rigsby for $1 million. I said Rigsby would be disappointed if I didn't dump him for $1 million.
Here's the restart.
Going back green, Tim McCreadie jumping out to the advantage. Davenport going to try the high side. Moran and Madden side by side for the third position. Moran going to try to take that third spot back. Here comes JD.
JD to the top, Moran to the top. Madden through the middle. McCreadie, Davenport back to the lead.
Thought McCreadie had it right there. He got a real good restart. Davenport, though, trying to get some high side magic going here late. It's been a good one. In the Eldora Million, Davenport at one time a 6.2 second lead. He's going to pull the 49 back out front this time by James, 13 to go.
Down the straightaway, still a battle here side by side. Madden and Moran for third and fourth, Fergie fifth. 5 cars on the same straightaway, and Davenport right now back on cruise control. Boy, we didn't need that last caution if you're McCreadie, right? Davenport has been rolling now since that last caution.
Yeah, Davenport's found another groove up on the high side of the speedway to his liking. Yeah, got to wonder, though, if he can hang on, if he can make it work, or if he's just trying to get far enough out front that he can pull that 49 back down on the inside. McCreadie trying to make the high side work. McCreadie slipping back, though. Devin Moran and Chris Madden closing in on the 39 in the closing stages of this one.
That was close. Davenport got into the wall just a little bit going into one. It is a thin line up there. And McCreadie's about to lose contact with him in 39, and Davenport right now into turn number 1, Dustin. 11 laps to go. Make it 10.
10 laps remaining for the driver of the Lance Landers Nutrient Ag Solutions. 49 of Jonathan Davenport. The heart, James, starting to thump just a little more. McCreadie, he's moved back down to the very inside of the racetrack. The groove that got him by, and the caution is out again. Trouble over in turns 3 and 4. As one car has spun to a stop, that might be Ricky Weiss.
McCreadie was trying to make up a little bit of time. I don't think he had enough laps, but now they'll be lined up side by side. Ricky Weiss in that Sniper 7 Vic Hill power plant. Still 5 cars for $1 million. Davenport, McCreadie, Moran, Madden, and Ferguson.
Davenport's got to be thinking, no, not a caution.
Bronson is 6th, and Marlar is 7th in the 157.
Hudson O'Neill 8th, Dale McDowell 9th. Ricky Weiss was in 10th, and he was your caution car. 9 laps to go. We went from an 18-lap shootout for $1 million to what, James? A 15-lap shootout for $1 million. Now a 9-lap race for $1 million.
92 laps scored. Davenport, what's he going to pick? He's worked well. McCreadie, though, do you want to give him the bottom? I don't know.
I don't know what the right answer is.
I do not know.
I don't know what the right answer is.
You can phone
here.
a friend.
Yes, that's right.
You can phone a friend if you want to. Who's leading the race for $1 million?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the case. Davenport's going to choose the outside lane. He's going to give McCreadie the inside. That'll put third place Devin Moran outside, fourth place Chris Madden inside, and your fifth place car and the last car on the lead lap, Chris Ferguson, will go outside.
You know Davenport's going to send it into one. He's got to keep it out of the wall. One little mistake there. You've got some bumps down there, don't you? I mean, you got some holes down there, so we'll see what happens.
And again, on a racetrack that had a complete show run on it earlier today, you wonder about tire wear. We saw Greg Satterlee just a few laps ago explode a left rear on the 22. It's like Ricky Weiss going to get the 7 back out on the track, who have to hustle up to catch the tail end of the field because the yellow lights have been turned off.
Moran still's got a shot, doesn't he? Moran and Madden. Fergie maybe as well,
yes.
But keeping on that blue and white 9 and that 44. 9 to go for $1 million.
Jonathan Davenport smashes the loud pedal, and we're back underway in the Eldora Million with 9 to go. McCreadie down to the inside. James, does he have a run? Davenport has a better run off turn number 2.
Moran's got a good run on Madden into turn 3. Devin Moran trying to make it work up top. Could we have some Moran magic? O'Neill's going to hit the wall at turn 4. They're 4 wide out of turn 4.
He gathers it back up and we stay green. Moran and Madden side by side for the 3rd spot. Jonathan Davenport back out front in this one. Moran trying to close in on 2nd place Tim McCreadie. Madden right there with him.
They are closing on McCreadie out of turn 4. Right here, the top 5. The only 5 on the lead lap. McCreadie, though, it takes him a while on that bottom to gain his momentum. Davenport just cruising right along. Moran trying the outside on Madden as the laps wind down in the 2nd Eldora Million, 6 remaining.
Devin Moran trying to get something going to work by the 39 of Tim McCreadie. McCreadie back down to the bottom of the racetrack, and James, that groove just is not there. Jonathan Davenport has found a line to his liking. Here comes Moran to the outside of McCreadie in a battle for 2nd, this time by 5 laps to go.
It's $100,000 for 2nd place. McCreadie, Moran, Madden, and Ferguson. Jonathan Davenport trying to keep all 4 tires under him into turn number 3. Devin Moran still not giving up on McCreadie, but Davenport is pulling away.
James, don't forget what happened to Kyle Strickler here. In the race without fans just a couple years ago, sparks flying off the 49. He grabbed a little bit of the wall that last time by. He stretched out to a 2.5-second lead this time by. 3 laps to go for Jonathan Davenport.
Madden closing in on Moran. Keep an eye on Davenport down the back straightaway. McCreadie trying to get away from Moran and Madden as those two battle out of turn number 2. Well, McCreadie made it interesting, but right now Davenport is pulling away into turn 1, almost a straightaway over McCreadie.
And Chris Madden just slid up in front of Devin Moran to take the 3rd spot away. Moran trying to grab that spot back. But for the final lap and a half, James, will keep it glued to your race leader.
McCreadie's off the pace. McCreadie's off the pace, Dustin. Going down the back straightaway, he may have a flat tire.
Oh, and the caution is
Yes.
out, a flat
Wow.
on McCreadie.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my.
You talked about Kyle Strickler was very reminiscent coming out of turn 2. He got off the pace because it tired down on 39. Wow. Wow.
And James, you laid the scenario out there. It'll be a 2-lap shootout to the checkers. Wow.
McCreadie drove the wheels off that car. He led for a while into the hot pit. Now remember, he is still on the lead lap, so he can't finish any worse than 5th if he can get back out. But
let's not lose sight of the fact that Tim McCreadie is going to come back out in 5th with a brand new right rear tire with 2 laps to go, guys.
so Madden will now go to 2nd, Moran 3rd, Ferguson 4th, and McCreadie will be 5th. Wow.
Oh, my.
Oh, my goodness.
What does Chris Madden do on this restart? I mean,
Well, number 1, guys, I mean, he's trying a million, but let's not forget it's 100,000 for 2nd, so he definitely wants to try to hold on to that. But wow, 2-lap shootout to the checkers here for $1,002,022.
Can you believe that if Moran had just held off Madden for about had gotten back around him, they had a great battle there for that 3rd spot. So McCreadie will come back out. He's still on the lead lap, so he should go on the tail end of the lead lap. Everybody else is 1 or more laps down. And you mentioned it, a fresh new Hoosier on that right rear of that Paler Motorsports 39. Here he comes. He'll come back up through there because he'll go in front of the lap cars. Yeah.
the last car. He is the last car on the lead lap. He'll be in 5th. Tim McCreadie in the 39. 4th, Chris Ferguson on the 22. 3rd, the 9 of Devin Moran. 2nd on the inside lane on this restart is Chris Madden, your race leader, Jonathan Davenport. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a 2-lap dash for over $1 million.
When we'll check the track, we still may have some debris back there, but that was so reminiscent of Strickler. He had a good lead over Davenport in the Intercontinental Classic, and coming at it too, we called it. He was slowing down. He blew a right rear tire, and wow. Moran will be on the outside of Ferguson. So Madden and Davenport, 2 laps to go. Green, white, checkered.
Guys, the storylines write themselves at Eldora every single time. Davenport's been really good on these restarts, James, but Madden has never had an opportunity to be alongside. Madden's never been up front in clean air.
So frustrating for Madden here in the past. The 47-year-old driver out of South Carolina has never won a crown jewel race here at Eldora. Devin Moran trying to join his father. 2 laps to go, Dustin. Madden and Davenport out of turn 4 coming up.
It's a 2-lap dash for $1 million here at the Big E. The green flag is out, and we're back underway at the Eldora Million. Jonathan Davenport, your leader. Here comes Madden down to the inside. Madden's going to throw a slider on him. He'll slide up the racetrack. No, he leaves Davenport a lane.
He just didn't have enough momentum to get it. Now Madden far to the inside. Here comes the slider. White flag, 1 to go. They're side by side for $1 million.
He crossed him over. Davenport back out front. Madden going to try another slider in 1 and 2. Davenport takes the line away. They'll head down the back straightaway for the final time.
Here comes Devin Moran.
Moran's got to run. Madden going to try to give it one last effort. Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Your next millionaire is Jonathan Davenport. Chris Madden finishes second, Devin Moran third, Tim McCreadie fourth, and Chris Ferguson rounds out the top 5. Wow. Jonathan Davenport with his arm out the window, taking a victory lap.
He says, I'll run 102 laps just to make sure, right?
Yeah. And Chris Madden pulling up alongside of him there and giving him a congratulations.
He's out of the car. Let him hear it. Superman Jonathan Davenport. He's making it rain in victory lane. Steering wheel in hand. And he has done it here tonight. Drops the steering wheel. Congratulations. Got the family down here. That is what it's all about. Big hug. And, wow. Team's down here soaking up the moment. Get a little sip of a beverage. And we're going to talk to JD after he picks up a 6-day payday. Jason Durham, crew chief, giving him a big hug down here. Vinny Giuliani, Gavin Landers down here. And he'd get congratulated by the entire team as they worked hard for this one. Tears are everywhere. As Jonathan Davenport, you get you a sip, buddy. Fire suit is soaked in sweat. Let's step between not one but 2 of these bad boy trophies right here. Jonathan Davenport, you made it no secret. You've been thinking about this every day when you wake up. Tonight it's a reality. Is the reality even sweeter than what the dream was?
I don't know yet. It ain't really sunk in, man. Just what a hell of a race. Man, these guys give me one hell of a race car. Me and Timmy, we're good friends, but damn, when it comes to $1 million, I wasn't going to wreck him. He wasn't going to wreck me either, but we was going to race each other hard. And then Madden, me and him, we've had our differences growing up, and I think we finally put all that behind us. And for him to slide me slide him back there with, 1 or 2 to go, man, it was just a hell of a feeling. Rachel, I wish she was here with me. Damn, that sucks that she couldn't be here, but we're definitely thinking about you and Blaine. Wow, I don't know. Thanks, Lance Landers and Darla Landers. I just seen Darla on the phone. We got to give Lance, hell, he's already made it down here. He's he must flew in a helicopter he's going to buy me. So just thank goodness for him, man. What an opportunity. He give me and put Jason Durham back with me again. Vinny, Tyler, son Gavin. Then, of course, everybody back at Longhorn, like I said, they built a hell of a car. Steve's here. Justin's been a part of the program. Matt, he's always on our team, even though he's traveling the roads with Timmy. This is just a wonderful time. Steve Martin, he's here. I see him back there. Just everybody that helps. My buddy David Green's here. My dad, Mom, I love you. I wish you could be here too. This is a life-changing moment for sure. Just looking out and seeing all y'all listen to what I got to say is pretty incredible. I just, wow, I can't even put it into words yet, and it probably ain't going to sink in until we get that money in the bank account, but it's definitely going to change my life, and hopefully my sons, my daughters, and me and Lance is going to take this $1 million and make $2 million with it.
14 hours ago, this day began with you on the racetrack. You got 12,000. You go out and you win this tonight. But 14 hours is just a small part of it. You had dreams of going to asphalt one day. Those dreams didn't quite go that way. Did you ever think in a dirt race car you would win over $1 million in one night?
Hell no. I mean, you're crazy if you thought you would. I mean, it was unbelievable that Donnie Moran did. And, I wasn't even in dirt back then. I was so focused on asphalt that was my direction in life. That's what we was going to do. But we just practically ran out of money. My dad couldn't carry me on to the next level. And so we started dirt racing, that car my grandpa gave me, and then just fortunate enough to just scrape and claw together stuff that, we got to this point, started getting rides, and just been along with some great car owners and give me great opportunities. And I got to thank every one of them. But I on this car here, I got to thank Nutrient Ag Solutions, Steve Martin, he's here, ASC Warranty, Spartan Mowers, Bill Stein Shocks, like I said, Longhorn Chassis, good buddy Chris, Midwest Sheet Metal. I remembered you, buddy. Dirt Wrap, Go Lithium, Mark IV. We're going to get them all. Hoosier. I'm going to be like, God. I'll tell you what. We're going to get VP Fuels, D&E Marine, Weir's Machine. Listen, when I say these names, it ain't because they give us something. It's because it's the best they are. K1 Race Suits, Bell Helmets, FK Rod Ends, Willys Carburetions, Strange, MPI steering wheels, All-Star Performance, Schoenfield headers, Willwood brakes, The Joyous seating, Stealth carburetors, fast shafts, Dyer's top rods, Kaiser wheels. I'm sure I'm probably missing some, but just thanks to all y'all fans for coming out. Thanks to everybody watching back home. Thanks Tony Stewart, his whole staff. They did a hell of a job on this racetrack, and nobody even thought we was going to be able to race here. There's my girl right there. Hey, honey. Well, I got the microphone. So, anyway, that's my wife. She couldn't be here, but she's here with us now. So,
Hey, Rachel. Yes.
all right, I'll give this back to the man. But like I said, just thank all y'all once again, and damn, I had fun.
I'm going to let you celebrate, but I got to ask you one more question real quick. Rachel, we're celebrating in Victory Lane right now. Yes, ma'am. He just won over $1 million. Yes, he did. Yes. I got to ask you, though, you're coming to the white flag, and they turn the yellow on. What goes through Jonathan Davenport's mind?
2015 dream, pretty much. When Scott beat me to turn one down here, I thought, holy shit, I couldn't even imagine what it was. And unfortunately, it was Timmy. I hate it for him. Second place still paid $100,000, and we was. I don't know. I just said I couldn't believe it. I didn't know what lane to pick because I knew Chris has had one of the fastest cars in the country, this year. So he just, at any time he could beat me. He got a little bit better run than what I thought he did and slid me down there. And like I said, thank goodness he raced me clean, and we got it done.
Party at the 49 hauler tonight?
You damn right.
Race fans, let him hear it. He's $1 million richer, Jonathan Davenport. We'll go to our second and third place finishers.
Thank you very much. So we're down here with Chris Madden. Chris, take us through some of the emotions. You had the lead. It could have got ugly. Jonathan said, thanks for racing me clean. Take us through the emotions. Still a $100,000 payday for second. Your thoughts?
Man, I mean, hats off to them guys. You know, hats off to my guys. We come a long way. We come from the rear up there to race with him for the win, so that speaks for itself of what kind of night we had going on. I didn't want to see that caution. We was rolling really, really good right there and didn't need that caution, and but we got it. And you know, when I slid him down here, I thought I had enough of momentum going, and I didn't realize it was able to turn off of that cushion up there like he did. And he got a big run down the front straightaway, and then you know, it was nothing I could do from there. You know, but we had an awesome racetrack tonight. You know, hats off to Tony and his crew for what they done to be able to come through the field like that and make a charge for the win. Just got to thank everybody that supported his team. I'd like to thank Jamie Henderson with Henderson Amusements here, Billy Franklin, you know, his family, his kids here. Drydene's got Dave and Bill. Those guys are here tonight. Thank those guys for what they do for me. Millwood Plumbing, Rocket Chassis, Durham Race Engine, what an awesome engine he's built me here. Penske Race Shocks, Aaron's worked his butt off today for me. We tore up some stuff in that heat race era. And Hoosier Dirt Tire South, Dryden, Swift Springs, Ray's Wraps, Pyramid Materials, Worley Monument, Shane's here. All my guys that work hard each and every day, they just continue to dig deeper and deeper. But I don't know, man. We can't get a win here. We can't get one of these big ones. I don't know why, but we still love it. My favorite place to come to. Love the race here. Love the fans, the atmosphere, everybody that supports this. Tony, thank you, man, for putting on a race like this for us. Hats off to you, brother. That's a big step, and we appreciate it very much.
Before I send you off, Chris, you've got a couple of $50,000. You come home second here. We still got another $125,000 to win race on Saturday night. There is no doubt in my mind you are going to be either first, second, or third, man. You're on one hell of a roll here in 2022. It's only a matter of time, and it might just come Saturday night.
I hope so, you know, and hats off to all my family at home watching, my wife, my kids, mom, my dad. My mom's here, my dad, everybody. Thank all you guys. I love y'all, and appreciate your support.
Ladies and gentlemen, he comes home second, a six-figure payday for Chris Smokey Madden. And we'll come over to third and emotional. There he is. Devin, I tell you what, there was a couple of chances there. You could have stuck her in there and had some fun, but you come home third. We started with a Moran in the million, and we're going to end with a Moran the million. A hell of a third-place finish, young man.
Yeah, you know, man, I wanted to win this son of a gun so bad, and just wasn't quite there, you know. Obviously, congratulations to John and Lance and Vinny and Pappy, all them guys. They did a hell of a job, and they've been really good. And I just wish we could have restarted in second there. I definitely wouldn't have been quite as nice as, you know. I just wanted this one so bad, but this race car was just badass all day long. You know, we had a really good piece, and we put ourselves in contention, and this is by far the best I've ever been here. So I just want to thank Ty Torg Racing, Longhorn Chassis, Steve and Paul and all them guys are here, so it was cool to see all them. And C&W Trucking, I know him and all the crews up there, Red Oak Pub, CarSourceAuto.com, McHughes, Bill Stein Shocks. Ever since I got on these shocks, we've been awesome, so I can't thank Kevin and Pete and all them guys, Ibach Springs and Paul and Haskell, and just there's so many great people. I got to thank my family more than anyone, though, and my girlfriend, Lakia. They're the most supportive people in the world. So to do this and run top three, we'll take it, and I guess we'll get ready for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to go run for another $100,000 coming up on Friday and Saturday, tomorrow and Saturday night. You got a good hot rod, that's obvious, and you never know, you could be up there on victory stage come Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm pretty drained at the moment, you know, mentally and physically, so I'm just going to get this thing loaded up and go back and get to bed and just chill for a little while. And, yeah, sounds bad. I don't really feel like racing tomorrow and Saturday, but we'll get it ready, and we just got to get rolling again, and maybe we'll be up there.
Congratulations on an entertaining run, and I want to thank you for putting on one whale of a show, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for all these fans coming out on this Thursday night.
Ladies and gentlemen, he comes home third. How about it for Devin Moran?